पहले मैं सबसे ओम शांति करती हूँ.
Before you ask questions to Dadi, she'd like to say Om Shanti to everyone first.
हम 3 बारी ओम शांति कहते हैं.
I would like to greet you all with Om Shanti 3 times.
पहला मैं कौन, अब बोलिए ऐसे.
And because the first Om Shanti signifies the self, the awareness of the
मेरा
self.
कौन.
And the second Om Shanti would signify the awareness or the connection with the divine.
ऐसे लाइफ में क्या करना है.
And the third Om Shanti would be with the recognition of what it is that we have to do in this life.
जीने कला.
And actually this in itself is the art of living.
क्योंकि परमात्मा 3 बातों की रोशनी दी है.
Because God has given us light about 3 things.
पहले अपन को देख.
First is that we must always look at ourselves.
देह मन को छोड़.
To let go of the awareness and the consciousness of the physical, of the body.
तो मेरे से माइट लो, लाइट बनो.
So then I'm able to take power from God and become light.
तो जो भी कर्म होगा बहुत अच्छा.
So then whatever actions I perform, they are bound to be of good quality.
ठीक है.
ठीक है. Yes, what Daddy has said is actually the essence of what I've learned really over my 33 years as a student with the Brahma Kumaris. The big shift that has happened, unlike Denise, I didn't have a sense of the world being crazy. I tried to make myself a part of it, of the materialism and the excitement of newspapers and all of that. But about the middle of my career, I was feeling quite empty, as if, there wasn't enough love in my life. It was a bit dry. And the reason was that I had such a materialistic outlook. And what's happened over these years, and it has took a few decades in my case, gradually the sense of who I am shifted from the programming in my brain, how I was brought up, the way I think of myself, to a deeper sense of self, more to do with the eternal aspect of the self. And that shift has been really something, and I'm massively grateful for that. It makes an enormous difference when that shift takes place. So definitely, Om Shanti, and Om Shanti in the sense that I've an understanding that I come from a source that has everything in it that I need to put myself back on my feet. All the truth that I need is in that source. And that's what Daddy has taught me. And with a lot of patience, a lot of love, and sometimes a bit of a kick as well. That bony finger I've seen a few times. And I'm grateful for it, because this shift was not so easy to make. But I'd like to ask Daddy, this book that I've written, I must just say a word about that, because it started off, this idea, I know how to live, I know how to die. Daddy used that expression at a VIP event in America. And someone present said, that would make a good title for a book. Let's ask Neville to do it. And so the request came to me, and I tried interviewing Daddy. I couldn't get a structure. I think now, actually, this was 5 or 6 years ago, I think now that I wasn't actually dead enough to my old self to be able to do it. So I just wasn't close enough to truth to be able to do it. So I tried and couldn't do it. And then I got an illness that sort of put me under house arrest for 4 or 5 months. Shingles, the illness, very painful, but nothing didn't affect my head. And I just concentrated on emerging this book, and I loved it. The shingles was a huge gift. As soon as the book was written, the shingles finished. I even wondered if Daddy Janki had sent me the shingles by some sort of occult power, because it let the book get written. But it's in 3 sections, and it's called Birth, life
किताब
and death.
दिखाओ,
Sorry, Daddy.
किताब दिखाओ ना.
Where's the book? Show them the book.
Oh, well, it's in the bookshop
बुक शॉप
downstairs.
में है नीचे, लेकिन यहाँ फोटो है ना दादी, वो
This,
किताब का
this
है.
is the cover's like this behind you,
पीछे
Daddy.
photo
Oh, there
है.
it is.
हाँ.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Here we are.
ये जो फोटो पीछे है ना आपका, वो किताब के.
It's in these three sections covering birth, life, and death. And so I thought it would be nice to hear from Daddy some words about, how what birth meant to her. And I was in the book, it's in the context of taking spiritual birth, like a rebirth. But Daddy had an extraordinary childhood anyway. She had a longing and a love for God, even in her childhood, a longing to serve, even as a child. And I wondered if Daddy could perhaps tell us a little bit about that, and then about the spiritual birth that she took when she was in her late teens, I think.
जब दादी 19 साल की हुई, उसके बाद दादी को आध्यात्मिक जन्म दादी ने लिया बीकेस के साथ. उसके पहले भी दादी को बहुत इंटरेस्ट था, तो दादी दोनों बता सकती हैं.
15 मिनट में.
नहीं दादी, इसमें प्रश्न पूछेंगे ना बीच बीच में, लेकिन 10 मिनट के बाद अभी मेडिटेशन करेंगे फिर.
ओम शांति पहले बता दिया. आज मैंने आप सबको देख, ये हाल में देख, पहले बड़ी खुशी है.
So I've already greeted you all
Wonderful.
with Om Shanti, and seeing all of you in this hall, I'm very happy. This is such a wonderful thing.
ग्लोबल हाउस से भी अच्छा है.
We have our international headquarters in London, which is called Global Cooperation House. This seems even better than that.
और नेविल आज मेरे से स्टेज पर बैठा है.
And Neville is here with me tonight on this stage.
डेनिस अचानक अभी मिली.
And we roped Denise into it last minute, and Dadi just met her just before coming.
ये भी बहन वंडरफुल.
And Baroness also is
Yeah.
very wonderful.
जो दृष्टि है, आप देखते हो, प्यार, शक्ति, शांति, प्यार ऐसा है.
Our eyes reveal our peace,
हम कौन
love,
किसके
and
बच्चे
power.
हैं.
And it's the eyes that reveal who it is that we belong to, whose children we are.
तो मैंने जब ज्ञान में आई, शिव बाबा की बनी, ब्रह्मा बाबा यहाँ है, फोटो नहीं है, कहाँ भी नहीं रखा, भाई रखना है.
इसके पीछे है ना दादी.
नहीं, परंतु
So I
ब्रह्मा बाबा
received
को
my spiritual understanding.
मैं बचपन से पहले जानती थी.
I belong to God.
वो भी जवारी था, मेरा बाप भी जवारी था.
I received my understanding through Brahma Baba, and I knew him beforehand. Brahma Baba was a jeweler, and my own father was also a jeweler.
ब्रह्मा बाबा कलकत्ता में रहता था.
Brahma Baba, the founder of the Brahma Kumaris, used to live in
हम 2
Calcutta.
बहन हैं, बाप के साथ कलकत्ता में बाबा के दुकान पर गई.
We were 2 sisters, and at one occasion we went to Baba's shop in Calcutta.
इतना अच्छा प्यार से मिला.
He met us with a
तो
lot of
मेरे
love.
बाप को कहा ये कहाँ रहेंगी रात को.
And because we were visiting Calcutta, he asked my father, "Where are you all going to stay
तो
tonight?"
कहा हमने गेस्ट हाउस में प्रबंध किया.
So my father told him that we've arranged for ourselves to stay at a guest house.
कहा नहीं, ये दोनों बच्चियाँ हम बाप के घर में रहेंगी.
He said, "No, both these daughters of yours are going to stay in their father's home, which is my home."
इतना प्यार।
He had so much love.
थोड़े समय के बाद मैं भी भक्ति में बहुत, जो शरीर का जन्म हुआ तो भी ऐसे कुल में हुआ जहाँ खान पान बड़ा शुद्ध।
I was born in a family in which there was a lot of purity. Our diet, our lifestyle was very pure.
हमको ज़रा भी बचपन में भी ये अभिमान नहीं था मैं कोई अच्छे बाप की बच्ची हूँ।
And even as a child, it wasn't that I had this arrogant sort of a pride that I come from a very good family.
भगवान को जानने की बहुत इच्छा थी।
I had a deep desire to know God.
तो ब्रह्मा बाबा अपने घर में जब गीता पढ़ता था, मैं भी गीता पढ़ती थी, परंतु जा करके उनके सामने सुनती थी।
I used to study the Gita. Brahma Baba also used to study the Gita, but I used to like to go and be in front of him and study the Gita with him.
जो हम सुबह को वॉक करने के लिए जाते थे, बाबा सामने आया, वो भी वॉक करके आ रहा था, तो मैंने देखा लाइट।
One day I was out for a walk with my father, and Brahma Baba was also out for a walk, and he was coming in our direction and we were moving in that direction, and as I saw him, I saw this incredible form of light of Brahma Baba.
आपको कुछ अनुभव हुआ?
And I asked my own father, did you have some experience through him? He said, nope, I didn't.
उसी घड़ी मैंने कहा ये है मेरा बाप।
And it was in that moment I had the experience of his spiritual self and the sense that this is my father, my spiritual father.
बहुत प्यास थी भगवान से मिलने के लिए।
I had this deep thirst in my heart to meet God.
उन दिनों में बाबा ने अब तन मन धन से अपने आप को ईश्वर को समर्पण कर दिया।
It was around those days that Brahma Baba had also in a sense come to a deeper understanding and realization and handed over his own mind, his body, his wealth to a group of people.
बहु बेटे सबको लाइट बाबा से दिखाई।
His daughter-in-law, his son, everybody used to see this incredible light through him.
ओम शांति पीछे से, परंतु पहले बाबा ओम सिर्फ कहता था।
We started to use this term Om Shanti later. In the beginning, Brahma Baba used to just speak of Om.
गीता में है ओम के अर्थमेटिक।
It's mentioned in the Gita how we have to stabilize ourselves in the meaning of the word Om.
और वह अब भी वंडर ऐसा है दुनिया भर में जो हमको मिलेगा अचानक कहेगा ओम शांति।
Amazing thing now is that everyone knows about Om Shanti, and so whenever I meet anyone anywhere around the world, they will greet me with Om Shanti.
आज मैं यहाँ देख रही हूँ लिस्टर में पहले, अभी मैं भारत में ज़्यादा रहती हूँ।
I spend more time in India these days.
तो समझो लौकिक जन्म भले अच्छा था, परंतु ये जो जन्म बाबा का हुआ, बाबा ने जैसे अपना बना के मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया।
Of course, my physical birth was a very fortunate one, but this spiritual birth also became a very special thing because it was as if God made me belong to Him and taught me to smile.
कभी भी दुनिया में क्या है, झूठ, चोरी, ठगी, निंदा।
What is there in the world these days? Lying, stealing, gossiping, cheating.
सुन रहे हो ना? कौन है जो कभी झूठ नहीं बोलता हो, कभी निंदा न करता हो?
Is there anyone who could really say that they've never told a lie or they never gossip about someone else?
मेरी कोई निंदा करे तो ऐसा हो जाए मैं किसकी निंदा करूं?
If someone talks about me, I don't like it and I get very stern about it. But how do I feel when I talk about someone else?
इस जीवन में जो जन्म हुआ है लौकिक जीवन का मेरे को पता नहीं है जन्म पत्री गुम हो गए
I no longer have the horoscope of my physical birth.
Can I ask you, Daddy?
एक मिनट तो पहली तारीख जनवरी की मैं ऐसी बीमार हुई थी मर नहीं करे जैसे नया जन्म हो गया
There was a
तो
time.
मैं अपना जन्मदिन पहली तारीख 31 तारीख रात को पहली तारीख
There was a time when I was very unwell, and it was the night of the 31st of December and early morning of the 1st of January.
Yeah.
So it was then that I had a second birth, if you like, another birth, because suddenly after some revelation, I became well after that, and so I consider 1st of January to be my birthday.
So Daddy actually has had very special circumstances, 100 years, a century of service actually. Very special circumstances she was born into, some tough things along the way, but always, meeting someone like Brahma Baba and getting her inspiration there. But I'd just like to ask Daddy, as we conclude this section, is it easier for people today, do you think, because of the sense that things are running out of control, our minds are running out of control, there's a lot of conflict in the world, things move faster and faster, there's a lot of stress. Is that going to help people to realize that they need spirituality? Because there is a growth of understanding about the need to take charge of the mind. There's something of a revival of understanding of the role of religion. What do you think, Daddy? So that people generally can get a new birth.
मनुष्य आत्मा है मनुष्य आत्मा को पाप क्या है पुण्य क्या है झूठ क्या है सच क्या है राइट क्या है रॉन्ग क्या है
Actually, as human souls, we all know what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false, what is sin, what is charity. We all know it.
जानता है पर जैसा अन्न वैसा मन जैसा संग वैसा रंग
But actually, as is our food, so is the state of our mind. As is the company that we keep, so is the color of that company on our life.
पशु इसकी लिस्ट ने 6 महीना बैठ के मेरे लिए सोचे कितनी अच्छी बात है
And the other day before yesterday, Dadi met Liz Hodgkinson, Neville's ex-wife, and she's been writing a book about Dadi, in fact, and she was telling Dadi that for the last 6 months she's done nothing but think about Dadi.
Yes, it's given her a big lift.
क्योंकि
She's enjoyed it.
मनुष्य आत्मा को थोड़ा एकांत में रहना एकाग्रता की शक्ति से अंतर्मुखी हो करके अपन को देखे
Actually, what as human beings we have to do is that we have to spend time in solitude. We have to teach ourselves to be concentrated, and we have to learn to work effectively with ourselves with that introspection.
ये बड़ी स्टडी करने का भाग्य मिलता है
And actually, this is spiritual study, and this is great fortune to be able to practice this spiritual study.
परमात्मा कौन है कैसा है जानती हूँ
I know who is God, what is He like,
कहाँ रहता है
where He lives,
और क्या करता है
and what He does.
करन करावन हार है ज्ञान का सागर है, शांति का सागर है, प्रेम का सागर.
God is known as the one who himself works and works through others. He's the ocean of peace, ocean of love.
उसको जानने से, पहचानने से ये तीसरी आँख खुल जाती है.
When you know him, when you recognize him, then your third eye opens up.
और क्या होता है? त्रिनेत्री त्रिकालदर्शी.
And what happens as a result of that is that when we have the third eye, we are also able to understand the knowledge of the three aspects of time: the past, the present, and the future.
प्रैक्टिकल बताती हूँ. तन मन धन समर्पण.
And this is a very practical thing that I'm telling you.
Yani
Then I'm able to surrender or hand over my mind, my body, my wealth through that spiritual awakening to God.
मैं आज यहाँ आते 74 में मैं आई थी लंदन आई थी 74. पर लेस्टर में भी आई थी. लेस्टर में भी इतना छोटा सा घर था लंदन में. ये किसकी है? कमाल है जो.
I came to London in 1974, and in fact it was 74 that I came to Leicester too. And at that time, the work of the Brahma Kumaris was happening from a very, very tiny house. But what we have now, it's a wonder.
तो समय ऐसा है, मनुष्य को जिस घड़ी वैराग आता है उस घड़ी त्याग कर देता है.
It really is a question of time too, because once one develops this disinterest and is able to let go of everything, that's when the awakening happens. This transformation happens inside automatically. Then you're no longer going to engage yourself in lying, cheating, deceiving, or gossiping or stealing.
क्यों जानते हैं दुनिया में दुख कब होता है?
Because we all know that there is a lot of suffering in the world.
अच्छे कर्म करने से भगवान की शक्ति मिलती.
When we perform good actions, elevated actions, we're able to take power from God.
सच्ची दिल से साहिब राजी है हमारे ऊपर.
When I have a true heart, an honest heart, the Lord is pleased with me.
बहुत मदद है उसकी.
There's a lot of help that comes from that one.
उसकी मदद से दिल कहता है जो भगवान मुझे दिया है इनको मिले.
It's with God's help that we're able to say that what I have received from God, I want to be able to share that with others too.
ये अंदर की भावना.
This is the inner feeling that one has.
That's a lovely point at which to take a little pause for reflection before we move on to the next section.
तो अभी meditation करते हैं. अभी बताया 2 मिनट meditation करते हैं.
2 मिनट.
हाँ 4 मिनट थोड़ा commentary होगी.
Let us sit for a few moments, reflecting on what we have heard. From the instant of our birth, we are trying to make sense of the world, to understand where we fit into it and what gives meaning to each day. The best way to consider these profound, heartfelt questions is to go within. to sit quietly and explore this internal cave of silence. Here we discover the truth. I am not merely a human being, a physical body who has a soul, but I am a soul residing for a lifetime in this body. Not a human being in search of a spiritual experience. I am truly a spiritual being, enjoying a brief and interesting human experience. When we learn who we are, beings of light, we know we cannot be extinguished by circumstances or time or death itself. For the next few moments, let us sit together in silence and experience our inner timeless space.
Over the years, Dadi has, you've already heard something of this, had a number of major health challenges. And yet, here she is in her 100th year, still going strong, jetting around the world. She's, after this trip to the UK, she's off to America in a few days. So definitely there's something in the conventional sense that she knows how to live. There's something that is in this person that answers that question. But Dadi, in a conventional sense, you haven't lived like most people would think of living, like bringing up a family, creating a home, having a job and a career, things like that, going to the cinema, dinner parties. You haven't done these things. So what is the authority that allows you to say, I know how to live? What has given you your joy and your strength?
कौन-सी शक्ति है सो आप जो आपसे बुलाती हैं ये कि आपको पता है आप कैसे जीना चाहिए आपको?
मेरे को टेलीफोन नहीं आता.
I don't even know how to dial a telephone number.
हर एक के हाथ में क्या है?
What does everybody have in their hand? A
बच्चे
telephone.
छोटे वगैरह
Young children or older
कैमरा
people,
भी हाथ में होंगे.
they have a camera in their hand
वो भी टेलीफोन भी हाथ में.
and a telephone.
मुझे
I don't have.
मुझे एक मैजिस्ट्रेट था कलकत्ता में. वो रिटायर हुआ था, तो रिटायर हुआ था वापस लिया था, तो अपने वाइफ को सुबह को 6 से शाम को 6 तक नहीं देखता था। तो मुझे कहा तुम मसूरी में चलो, मैं हर गर्मी के टाइम में मसूरी में जाता हूँ, पर तो वाइफ को छोड़ के नहीं जा सकता हूँ, तुम चलो, तुम मेरे वाइफ के साथ रहो और मैं अलग रहूँगा। फिर मैंने ये हाँ किया, तो उसकी वाइफ मेरे साथ रहती, कमरा दूसरा। फिर क्या हुआ, उसे कन कन में भगवान उसका सिनेमा आई थी, कहा ये तुम देखने चलो, फिर अच्छा भाषण करेंगे। सुनो मैंने, तो मैंने कहा मैं सिनेमा के बाद दरवाजे पर जाएंगी ना तो मेरा भाषण कोई नहीं सुनेगा।
So Dadi met a magistrate in Calcutta, and he didn't spend the day with his wife. But he said to Dadi, why don't you come with us to Mussoorie? Mussoorie is like a hill station, and people go there in the summer days. And he said, well, you can spend the day with my wife and be with us there. So Dadi agreed. And one day he says, there is a film that's come out, and the film is something about God is in every particle. And he said, well, let's go see this movie, and then afterwards we can go and you can give a lecture. And Dadi said, no way. If I go to watch a movie and then go give a lecture, nobody's going to listen to my lecture.
So मुझे कहा फाड़ दूं टिकट।
So he said, what, should I throw away the tickets? You're not going to come?
सिनेमा है sin की माँ।
Cinema is a mother of sin. Sin, ma means mother in Hindi. So cinema, the mother of sin.
अखबार भी नहीं पढ़ते।
I don't even read newspapers.
कोई बहन मेरे साथ रहती थी, उसको अखबार पढ़ने की बहुत आदत थी।
There was a sister that used to live with me, and she had the habit of reading newspaper a lot.
कहा दादी मुझे अखबार अच्छा लगता है।
She said, Daddy, I like reading newspapers.
तो कहती मैं देखती थी, क्या देखती है अखबार पर, भाई आज सिनेमा में कौन सी आ रही है।
So I used to watch her reading that newspaper, and I'd be seeing what she was looking at was which movie is on in which cinema.
हमारा कलकत्ता का सेंटर ऐसे खुला है। किसी घर में गई तो बच्चे रो रहे थे, माँ बाप चले जाते हैं सिनेमा में घूमने फिरने, बच्चे घर में रो रहे हैं।
Parents go to the cinema and the children are left at home crying.
मतलब बात का जीना है तो कैसे, बड़ा डिवाइन यानी ईश्वरी जैसी शक्ति ऐसे कर्म कराती।
The point being that if you want to live, the way to live is with divinity, with the power of God.
जैसे आज का
in such a way
that
everyone is inspired and learns to perform good actions. Today I didn't know that there was going to be such a big gathering. I think there should be a gathering like this here every day. At least once a week otherwise, if not every day. This hall should become too small.
क्यों? एक तो अच्छे कर्म श्रेष्ठ, अच्छे बना बहुत श्रेष्ठ कर्म जो मैं करेंगी, तो आज मेरी लाइफ आप देख रहे हो।
Our actions should be elevated. Unelevated means very elevated. It's really on the basis of that I am today and you see my life as you do.
100 साल नहीं उम्र हुई है, 99 है.
Actually, my brother, get this right, it's 99 years, not 100.
परंतु अगर इसमें 3 बातें हैं जिस कारण मैं जीती हूँ.
Actually, there are 3 things that it's because of those that I'm still alive.
कहीं अभी भी शरीर को कैसे भगवान चला रहा है वो जाने. और बहन मेरी साथ जो रहती है.
Actually, God is the one who makes me move today and makes my body function today. And the sister who lives with me, Hansa, who looks after Dadi, takes care of Dadi. She knows what to give me, what tablets I need to take. I don't know anything about that.
मेरा काम है अमृत वेले उठना.
My job simply is to wake up early in the morning and meditate. Even if I haven't slept all night, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But 4 o'clock meditation is my discipline.
क्यों? जैसा कर्म मैं करेगी मुझे देख जो और करेंगे.
Because whatever actions I perform, seeing me, others will do the same.
मैंने कहा कोई कहते हैं मिलते हैं ना आशीर्वाद करो.
When I meet some people, they say to me, give me blessings.
मैं कहती हूँ आशीर्वाद मांगी नहीं जाती.
And I say, you can't ask for blessings.
मन वाणी कर्म ऐसा हो जो किसी दिल से दुआएं निकले.
My mind, my words and my actions should be such that blessings emerge from people's hearts for me automatically.
भूल से भी ऐसा न बोले जो किसको दुख होवे.
Even by mistake, I shouldn't speak in the way that causes sorrow to someone.
न दुख देना न लेना.
So don't give sorrow to others and don't take sorrow from
ये
others.
सच्ची तपस्या.
This is what it really means to do deep, intense meditation. This is the natural outcome of that.
पर मुझे ऐसा बनना है, ये दृढ़ता चाहिए.
But you need the determination that this is what you have to become.
दृढ़ता ऐसे है पर इसका साथ मिलता है.
But when I have determination and when I have God with me, then there is power to do this.
So Dadi has said that the regular discipline that she has of connecting to the divine gives her the strength that in her actions, in her words and all the other things that she does during the day, there's the strength to make that very positive and not to cause sorrow, no matter what kind of things come at her. And as the head of a global organisation, plenty of things happen. So that's really the essence. Can we have for now another little break? I think the idea is we take another short meditative break to contemplate on that essenceful description of Dadi's living.
A few moments to reflect on these wise and clear thoughts. They echo and resonate with that quiet space inside us. The mysterious connection between birth and life and death. Spiritual birth, a life of meaning and purpose, and dying to old wasteful ways. we can see in stark contrast the shallow distractions of today's world and a life of higher thoughts and worthwhile actions. For a few moments of silence together, let us reflect. What can I do to make these changes in myself? Then I can change my world and the world around me. Hold these thoughts. Hold this silence.
So finally, Daddy, what lies behind your challenging statement, I know how to die?
ये लास्ट है. ये जीते जी हम मरे हुए हैं. कोई दे के संबंधी
with a spiritual
से लगाव
consciousness,
झुकाव टकराव तीनों से फ्री है.
with a spiritual consciousness, it's as if we are alive, but in a sense we are dead to this world. And what that really means is that there is no attachments, no pulls, and no one that really I'm subservient to.
और ये मेरी बचपन से लेकर के यानी ज्ञान के बचपन मैं मरूं तो कैसे मरूं.
This is an awareness that I've had ever since my spiritual birth, that when I die, how must my death be?
मैंने आंखों से देखा है किसको मोह होता है तो अंत में वो पति याद आता है या बच्चा याद आता है मरने.
I've seen this actually with my own eyes when somebody's dying and when they have such severe attachment to someone, the only thing they remember is that person.
वगैरह याद आता है.
When there is greed, then at their moment of death, all they can think of is money and the money in their
एक
bank.
बहन थी तो मैंने प्रैक्टिकल देखा बहुत अच्छी थी वैसे पर उसको खाना अच्छा चाहिए.
I saw a woman, very good she was, but again, she liked her food very much.
नहीं तो थोड़ा खाना नाराज हो जाती.
And if she didn't get her food the way she wanted it, she'd get upset.
उसने सारी छोड़ा खाना ऐसे.
When she died with the thoughts of food. With her tongue, as Dadi was expressing, the desire for taste of food.
शरीर छोड़ने के समय मैं जाती हूँ उनको मदद करने के लिए तो कोई याद ना आवे.
Many, when they're about to die, they have these profound thoughts of what they're attached to, and I often go to see these people who are about to be dying so that they don't remember anything else except God.
कभी मेरे हाथ में पैसे का पर्स नहीं देखा हूँ.
I never carry a purse with money in my hand.
कभी कपड़ा भिन्न भिन्न पहनना.
To wear different varieties of clothes, fashionable clothes. I don't do that. You can go and have a look in my wardrobe.
बेडरूम को देखो.
Go and see my bedroom.
एक कपड़ों में बुद्धि हो.
If your intellect is caught up
इतना बुद्धि
in
जाती है.
in
बालों में.
clothes.
पहले मैंने जो जैसे डिनी जैसी ब्रह्मा कुमारियाँ जो बनी, पहले बाल बनाया.
Also hair, style. And when people like Denise came
Khana.
right at the beginning, I used to teach them how to do their hair like this, straight.
खाना कैसे पकाना है, कैसे खाना है, कैसे खिलाना है.
How you should prepare food for yourself, how you should eat the food, how you should serve others the food. I taught all these things.
तो अंत में अच्छी होंगी, मुझे गारंटी है.
So that I know, I have the guarantee that my final moments are going to be good moments.
दूसरी बात मैं अपन को सावधान रखती हूँ.
Another thing for me is that I keep myself very cautious about this.
क्योंकि मुझे दर्द यहाँ पड़ता है शरीर का, ऐसा जो नींद करने नहीं देता.
Sometimes I have a pain in my chest which doesn't allow me to sleep.
तो मेरा चिंतन ऐसा हो, शरीर छूटे ना.
But even so, when my thinking in that moment should be such that if it's time for the soul to leave the body, it can go just like that.
छूटता नहीं है अभी.
But the thing
भगवान को
is,
मैं कहती हूँ.
but the thing is that the soul doesn't leave the body yet. I tell God, take me.
भगवान को कहती हूँ, अभी तक ऐसे शरीर को क्यों रखा है.
I ask him, why have you still kept me in this body like
मुझे
this?
कहता है तुम फॉलो फादर करने में अच्छी हो.
He
तो
says,
तेरे को फॉलो करने में जो फॉलो वाला सुबह को पढ़ के सुना है ना.
so he says, you're very good in following the Father, and so others seeing you, others can learn to follow too.
तो वो सच्चा के ऊपर चल रहा है. सच्चाई में कभी भी कमी ना हो.
We have to follow the path of truth, and I should never lack in that.
न कोई मेरे से नाराज हो, न मैं किसी नाराज.
I must never be upset with anybody, and no one should be upset with me.
खुश रहना क्यों नहीं. भाग्य है हमारा, भगवान मेरा साथी है.
I should stay happy. Why should I not stay happy? It's my fortune that God Himself is with me.
ड्रामा में का जो ज्ञान है, हर एक का पाठ है, हर एक में अच्छी अच्छी विशेषता है.
We understand this world as a play, and in this play, everyone is playing their own unique part, their unique role, and each one has their own speciality.
ये अंदर की सिमरती वृत्ति दृष्टि में सारी छूटे, बाकी कोई बात नहीं.
It's in this awareness that, in this inner awareness, attitude and vision that I want this soul to leave the body, nothing else.
मैं बीती बात असुर याद नहीं आती.
I don't remember anything that has passed.
बीती को चितो नहीं, आगे की रखो ना आशा.
Don't think about that which is past, and don't have false hopes for the future.
ये होना चाहिए.
This is what I should be
जो बीती
thinking. Whatever has happened is past. It's
जो
finished.
अभी हो रहा है सो अच्छा हो.
And what is happening now in this moment should be good, should be positive.
ज़रूर सदा ही मरने के लिए तैयार है, पर ऐसा जो मरूं सारे विश्व को पता चल जाए.
One should always be ready to leave, to die any moment. But I should die in such a way that everyone learns about what it means to die.
एक बात है, बाबा भी कहते हैं और भी कहते हैं, सारे विश्व को संदेश देना है, पर मैं कहती हूँ संदेश सिर्फ नहीं देना है, इनको ऐसा बताना है सारे विश्व को, जो आजू जी को कहा, ऐसा बताना है इस विश्व को, जो सभी को जीना है तो कैसे, मरना है तो कैसे.
So we have to give the message of God to everyone. We have this awareness, but I don't think that's enough. Actually, the message really has to be where we inspire people to know how to live and how to die.
आजकल अच्छी अच्छी आत्माओं को किसके स्वभाव को अनुसार चलना ये डिफिकल्ट.
Nowadays, many good people find it difficult to get on with other people, knowing the other person's tendencies.
अपना स्वभाव भी ऐसा नाजुक है, थोड़ा भी सहन शक्ति नहीं.
Their own nature is so delicate and so sensitive, they're not able to tolerate anything.
सहन शक्ति, सम्मानने की शक्ति, समेटने की शक्ति.
And for this you require the power to tolerate, the power to accommodate, the power to merge.
ऐसी सहन शक्ति जो सदा ही सब अच्छा. कोई पूछे मेरा बाबा मेरे से खुश क्यों है, जिस किसी ने कहा हम पंजाब अमृतसर के हैं, अमृतसर से सर्विस शुरू हुई है 60 साल पहले, तभी भी बाबा कितने अच्छे सेवाएं हैं सारे पंजाब की हुई.
Service in Punjab started 60 years ago, and so many good things have happened since then. And I was part of that service, and I feel that God has been pleased with me with that service.
तुम पढ़े मैं पढ़.
Yes, go ahead.
ये जितना होवे
Is this are people getting this?
No, she's going to read it now. We don't have. We
मैं
didn't
कहीं.
bring.
To follow means to love and to show their love in a way that is real and practical, to be safe, to become free. ठीक है? To know what is the right thing to do at every moment, to have a solution for every situation. Solution for every situation. To stay in God's company and share the color of that company with others. To trust and to receive unlimited fruit of that trust. To be an honest spiritual pilgrimage. To be a master and a server. Easy to be master and server. To take one more step towards become an angel. कौन angel बनने चाहता है?
So who wants to be an angel?
कितना easy है. To take
So
one more
easy.
step
It's so easy.
towards become an angel. To go ahead and lead the way for others to take away, to overtake you. Overtake you. समझा? ये भाई सब को मिले.
Sorry, but I don't think we brought enough to give you all a copy of this, although Daddy wants you to
Okay.
have them.
Finish?
Yes, thank you, Daddy. Yeah.
भी तुम बताओ तुम कौन हो? क्या
The,
Meditation करेंगे Daddy.
there's a-
meditation
पीछे
करेंगे.
last है ना?
हाँ बस ये finish अभी.
Yes, we're going to finish with
meditation
a
करेंगे.
song
बस 2 मिनट बताओ.
by Bliss, but I've got
24 घंटे में
one
क्या?
quote
कुछ कहते हैं.
from Dadi, in which
Daddy
she
ने
says,
कहा था,
connected to what
Daddy
she's just
कहती
been
हैं,
saying, but summarizing it in a way, that if our hands are always giving, always bestowing,
देने वाले हैं,
joy will be ours in death as well as in life.
Yeah.
जीते समय और मरते
And I think that's a really wonderful, wonderful way to close the program. And before the song, and before Davina comes to make her announcements and thanks, I'd like to give my personal thanks to all of you for being here and giving me the opportunity of sitting beside this wonderful soul. It's such a pleasure. Daddy is amazing. So thank you very much. And I think now there's a song from Bliss.
सुनो मुझे बात थोड़ा रह गया.
One more thing left, a little bit left.
क्योंकि तन मन धन इस तन में बैठे हो, मन ऐसा हो, मन में नाम भव.
Whilst
Ishwar
living
mein
in this body, my mind should be connected to God.
और धन
Some of you may be aware of this expression, man manabhav, and
Ishwari
it is
seva
mentioned
mein
in the Gita, that turn your mind to me. My body should be engaged in God's service.
मरने समय तन में बुद्धि न जावे, मन धन में न जावे.
At the time of death, my intellect shouldn't be drawn to the body and it shouldn't be drawn to wealth.
भगवान ने मुझे सैंपल बनाया है.
God has made me a sample.
सदा ही धन आएगा, हाथ में नहीं रहेंगे.
The wealth will always come for
Seva.
service. I never need to take it in my own hands. It
मैंने
comes for
आज यहाँ
service.
पूछा ये मकान का कितना खर्चा हुआ,
I
कैसे
asked,
आया.
I asked them today what it cost to prepare this place.
सेवा अर्थ है.
It's for service.
अभी यहाँ सेवा करने वालों को का भाग्य है
Those
जो
who,
मनवानी कर्म से सेवा कर.
those who do service here, it's their fortune that they do service with their mind, their body, and their wealth.
मन से, वाणी से, कर्म से.
So we do service with our mind, our body, and our
मैं
wealth.
भारत में बताती हूँ, वहाँ तो नौकर सफाई करते हैं, कपड़ा धोते हैं. यहाँ तो हमारे बहन भाई खुद ही कपड़ा धोते हैं, यहाँ बर्तन मांजते हैं.
In India, it's still possible to hire labor,
ये
and so
GRC में
people have cooks and cleaners and everything else. Whereas here in the center, we don't have anybody, any laborers that come and do any
तो
work.
मनवानी कर्म सेवा में है ना, तो मनो शांत, तनो शीतल, ऐसी दुनिया बनानी है.
Everything happens by people who live here, whether it's the cooking or the cleaning. When our mind, our body, and our wealth is
Abhi-
engaged in service, then our mind is able to be silent, be peaceful, and we're able to use our body in a worthwhile way.
तो सारी लाइफ तन मन धन मनवानी कर्म अब भी है जो मेरा श्वास चलता है ना ये
So I've spent my whole life using my mind, my body, my wealth, my thoughts, my words and actions in a worthwhile way, so that now each breath I take, each breath is useful.
कल देखा जाएगा अभी तो पड़ा
Tomorrow we'll see what happens, but at least today everything I have is being used in a worthwhile way. I know that the future will also be good. I have the guarantee that it will be.
देखा जाएगा नहीं guarantee अच्छा होगा.
It's not that, oh, we'll see what happens, but no, the guarantee that it will be well.
Okay. कुछ कहना है?
नहीं बस.
बस.
It's all around me, a silent voice I can't deny. A mother's arms, how they surround me. They sing the beauty of my life.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love.
I close my eyes. It takes me over. A memory deep down in my soul. And safe from harm to be beside you. A light will shine upon the world.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause cause me pain. This love, this love, this love.
This love.